Right, welcome one, welcome all. This is a series of a collection of revision practices that I'm going to be sending out in the next few days, next few weeks, and sometimes to come. We are dealing with grade 12 mathematics paper 1. My interest is in the first question and the second question, 1.1.1, 1.1.2, whereby we shall be solving quadratic equations. I'm going to be making use of the 2023 paper that is in front of me here and see to it that we can navigate through it together, specifically on those two questions that I'm just highlighting there. So we are going to get through it just now. Right, as you can see, those are the questions that we are dealing with. It says solve for x. There is x squared minus 7x plus 12 equated to a 0. Being able to solve for x there will give you 3 marks. 1.1.2, there's an x bracket 3x plus 5 equated to a 1. They say in brackets correct to 2 decimal places. Once you see a question in grade 12 paper 1 say like that, saying correct to 2 decimal places, it should give you a clue that you need to apply the general quadratic equation or a general quadratic formula to solve that one. You can see that's the reason they give you 4 marks there. So let's get started with the first one. The first one says, the question is actually saying x squared minus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0. We can see here that there's an x here, there's an x here, there's no x here, which means this one cannot, there's no common factor among these 3 terms here. So what we're going to do here, we're going to look at this constant term here, which is 12 here. Then we look for the factors of 12, 2 factors of 12, that when we add them, we get minus 7. 2 factors of 12, that when we add them, we get minus 12. We all understand that the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, but 1 and 12 cannot give us 7. We also have 2 and 6, but 2 and 6, if they add them, we get 8. So we don't want them. We have got 3 and 4. 3 and 4, if we add them, we get positive 7. We cannot use them because here we've got minus 7. But we all understand that a minus 3 multiplied by a minus 4 should be surely give us a positive 12. And minus 3 minus 4 will give us minus 7. So the factors we are going to make use of are minus 3 minus 4. Right, so how do we use them? We come here, we open a bracket, we close, we open another bracket, we close. Then in this bracket we say x minus 3, another factor. Then x minus 4, the next factor. We have managed to factorize this to this. So now that is supposed to be equated to what? To 0. So what we are going to do here, we've got 2 terms here in brackets. This one and this one. There's no any mathematical operation in between, which means these 2 brackets are multiplying each other, and we are told that the answer will be equal to what? To a 0. What do we understanding in mathematics basics? 2 numbers are multiplied to get a 0 when either of the 2 numbers is what? Is a 0 itself. So we want to make this bracket equal to 0, and this one equals what? To 0. How does this bracket be equal to 0? X minus 3, how do they give us a 0? They give us a 0 when x itself is equal to 3. Why? 3 minus 3, 0. Or x minus 4, to get a 0, this one must be 4 minus 4, which means x is also supposed to be what? Equals to 4. You get yourself 3 marks there. We move on to the next one. So this was 1.1.1. We move on to the next one, that is 1.1.2. The question is x bracket 3x plus 5 equals to 1. The marks allocated there are 4. So let's go about it very quickly. So what we are seeing here is that we need to rearrange this equation so that it comes back to the general form of an equation, quadratic equation that we know. It should be ax squared plus bx plus c. That is supposed to be equal to what? To 0. So we're going to multiply this one by that. We get 3x squared. X multiplied by 5. We get 5x. Then we transfer this positive 1 to this side of the equal sign. Then we are left with 0 on this side. So when it comes this side, it becomes minus 1. Then it is going to leave that space with a what? With a 0. Now when you look at this one, we cannot factorize this expression on the left side here for some reason that all of us must be knowing. But since I said earlier, when they say correct to 2 decimal places, you should know the quadratic formula is the one that should be applied. So how do we know the quadratic equation to be? The general formula says x is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac everything over 2a. So as we can see from above here, the coefficient of x squared here is representing a, then b represents this 5, then c is represented by minus 1. So we are just going to do what we call substitution. So we get in there and say therefore x is equals to minus b, that's supposed to be minus 5, because remember we said b is represented by 5. So according to the formula, it's minus b, which means it's supposed to be minus 5 plus or minus the square root of b squared. Our b is a 5 again, it is squared, minus 4. Our a is 3 there. Our c is minus 1. Everything over 2a, which is 3 again. We simplify the right hand side and we get minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 5 squared, that's 25, minus 4 times 3, 12, times minus 1, positive 12. Everything over a 6, that is 2 times 3. That takes us to minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 37, everything divided by 6. Then you take your calculator, you punch in, and as it is, x therefore is going to be equal to, so here's the calculator, the on button is there. I'll start by pressing the division there, then I will come and say minus 5. Let me start with minus, then I say root 37, I go down, I put 6 equals to, the answer that comes is that one. Then I press SD, this key. The answer that comes therefore is minus 1.847. That rounds off to minus 1.85. Or I go back to my calculator, I move up there, press that button. Yes, here I am. I move, delete the minus, replace with a positive, press the equal sign. The answer that comes is that one. I press SD again. Then I get 0.18, 0.18, correct to 2 decimal places. Yeah, you get 7 marks. 7 out of 150.